Well, every now and then you hear stories about people who've left the corporate world to follow their dreams and find their true passion. Sonya Moore did just that, and she wrote a very honest book about her experience. It's called Some Kind of Magic, and she joins us now to talk about it. Hi, Sonya. Tell us where you are right now.
Hi, Cindy. I'm here in Bali right now, in Ahmed, Bali, on the northeast coast.
So you haven't
Lovely
lost your
to
lust for
have the chance to
travel.
talk to you. I haven't. Nope. Don't think I ever will.
No, I don't think you ever will either. Okay, give us a little background about why you chose to leave the corporate world in the first place.
It. I loved the corporate world for a very long time, and after about 15 years in that industry, it got to a point where it had actually been building up for several years, where I kind of just slowly lost the love for it. But there was always, there were always reasons to stay, lots of responsibilities. And it finally came to a perfect storm of things going wrong where I was frustrated enough to hear myself yell out loud, I don't want to do this anymore. And in the moment I heard myself say that, I realized, oh, wow, okay, I really don't want to do this anymore. So I decided to figure out what I wanted to do instead.
Okay,
And
I think a lot of people have said at some point or another, I don't want to do this anymore, but then they put their head down and they go back and do it again. But you were brave enough to walk away. So, but you did have a plan in place somewhat. Now your journey began with a 10-day silent retreat, which sounds amazing and awful all at once. So what did you get out of that?
yeah, I thought you were going to say horrific, actually. I got so much out of it. The It was difficult. It was definitely one of the most difficult things I've done. It's a vipassana retreat, so you're meditating for 10 hours a day, um, not speaking. The not speaking is actually really nice. It's very restful, but the sitting in meditation for 10 hours a day is difficult. But what I got out of it mainly was um, it allowed me to learn to let go of things that, once it's time to let go, once they were no longer meant for me anymore. And that was something that I personally really needed. And it was very helpful in the rest of my journey.
Well, let's talk a bit about this journey. You went to India to study to be a yoga instructor. You were going on your own. Were you scared at all with the whole prospect of that?
No, the only thing I was scared about at one point, because I am traditionally a big worrier, I was afraid I would get sick at some point, but which never happened. I never got sick in India. But other than that, no, no, I wasn't afraid. Yeah.
Okay, so after you did that, you didn't stop. I mean, you kept going and you haven't stopped. Your travels then took you to Southeast
So,
Asia. So what did all this moving teach you about material possessions?
it's a really great way to turn yourself into a minimalist when you need to carry everything you own with you in a suitcase. So I do love, I love things. I love beautiful things. And it was a good lesson. I think it helps me learn to, if you see something beautiful in a shop, I could look at it and appreciate the beauty and realize, okay, I don't necessarily need to buy this and take it home with me. Um,
I
yeah.
think a lot of people would be afraid to run out of money. How were you able to get over that fear? You did keep working as you went. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I did. I think initially, before making the decision to leave, I did have that fear of, running out of money. I ended up selling my house and continued traveling. So, while, in the years that I was traveling, it was not a concern. The cost of living in Asia is very low. So, your money goes a long way. And after that, yes, I did end up as a yoga teacher and so started teaching again and working again.
At some point in your book, while I was reading it, I needed to read it because I was going through an extremely stressful time. And the one thing that I really that really resonated with me was about trusting the universe and just not having to feel like you're in control because you can't really control anything, can you?
No, exactly. Yeah, for me, that was the most important message in the book, I think, and I'm glad that that's was your takeaway, because that was really what I wanted to share, because I spent, you know, almost 4 decades of my life worrying a lot, and now, having learned what I learned, once I stopped trying to plan everything and kind of just went with the flow, I realized, oh wow, there is some force out there that's just working things out for us, and it's just a nicer way to live life when you don't have that heaviness of worry around.
And how
What
has
is it?
response been? What kind of feedback are you getting?
It's been really beautiful, because you know, I wasn't sure who would read it or if it would resonate with anyone, and it doesn't resonate with everyone, of course, but I've gotten some really beautiful messages, both from people that I know and from strangers who have told me, like, wow, you know, thank you for sharing the magic with me at just the right time, or things like that, and that's so beautiful to hear.
For anybody who's watching and listening who really wants to come out of their comfort zone, but they're waiting for the perfect time, what advice do you have for them?
It sounds very trite, but listen to your heart, really. Um, I think I think maybe for everyone the process is different, or for a lot of us it's very similar. For me, it was definitely a process, and I had thought about quitting my job even, you know, 5 years earlier, um, but it didn't really feel like the right time. And at the moment that I chose to do it, it just really felt right. You know, somehow I just knew deep down this is what I want to do. And when I was making that decision too, what I thought to myself was, when I'm 80 years old and, you know, getting close to the end of my life, when I look back at my life, do I want to see that I just stayed in this job for my entire life? And I thought, you know, what am I here for? What am I here to live? And I really, for me, I just want to live fully. I love experiences, and I love beauty and happiness. So I decided to just go for that. And the other thing I want to say is, you know, for me, it was travel, because I've always loved to travel, but it doesn't have to be that. It's just that thing that you really want to do, that you just are scared. Because I think it seems that those go together. Like, that thing that you really want to do is often hand in hand with the fear, and you just have to step through that fear, and then that's where all the magic is waiting on the other side.
Okay, well, Sonya Moore, it was so good to catch up with you. Thanks for making time for us. The book is called Some Kind of Magic, and I know you did the audio version of that book too. Where can people get their hands on Some Kind of Magic?
Yes, the audiobook just came out. It's currently only available on Audible. It'll soon be available on some other platforms as well. And the book you can find on Amazon or on bookshop.org, as well as Barnes and Noble. And around the world, many other global resources. You can go to sonyamoore.com and click the book tab, and it'll show you all the links.
Well, you look incredibly happy, and I'm incredibly happy for you. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much. It was really a pleasure.
Okay, take care.
You
Bye-bye.
too.